Okay guys, I'm back here in my garage and just got the Turbosound Iq18B hooked up using the Ultranet connectivity on the back of it. Basically connected with an Ethernet, a Cat5 Ethernet cable, hooked up to my Behringer X32 rack system. Uh, Again, through the Ethernet connectivity port on the back of it. I use an iPad to run everything, and I got a 1,000 watt power top up there to show you what I got going on here. I'm going to show you real quick what's happening. I got it separated. I ran it through the, and you can do this a couple different ways. I like to send my subs out through an aux send because I'm one of them weirdos, I guess, that likes to control or have a separate submix and control it all. But anyway, basically, now when I bring up my mains on the, I got the MP3 playing some music here, and that's controlling the tops. But when I want to hear the sub, I can just bring up just the submix, and that's just the 18B, IQ18B by itself, but I can. You get the idea. There's a separate submix right here. Separated from the main mix. That's how I like to set it up. I'll show you guys how to do that, and also how to do it where it's there's not a separate submix, and you have it set up going over to your sub on the sub, and I'll show you that in a second. You want to go to your main screen here, and you want to go to the routing section. You'll probably be in the home screen here. And then on the left-hand side on this screen, you got buttons. You want to select the routing. And then if you're not already on the P16 out, you can use this button down here, these arrow buttons, and scroll to whatever section you want. Okay, so we want the P16 out. We're just using this button here. Okay, and we're at the P16 out. Now I have my subs routed. I'm going to be routing them in 13 and 14. Right now, I just have one set up. I'm going to unbox the other one in a little while. So what you want to do is you want to select this first rotary knob, okay, and put it on whatever channel you want the subs on. Okay, you can select any channel. It doesn't matter. It's totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead and put my subs on 13 and 14. And for this one, since there's only one sub, it's going to be my right sub. I'm going to select 14. 15 and 16 are going to be my main outs when I get the IQ15 speakers. Okay, so I select 14 for the right sub. I'm going to put, once I got the knob turned to the channel I want, you're going to push this button in right there, and that'll select it, and it'll jump down to 15, but ignore that. You got to turn back up to 14, and you'll see where you're at. It says subwoofer, and the reason why it says that, because you have to go to Edit IQ setup first. Once you go to Edit IQ, the way you get into Edit IQ setup is you select this rotary knob. It's the last one, and just push it in. When you push that in, because this knob is for that button right there. All right, so now you're in this screen here. Now you can see we're still on channel 14, and what you want to do is where it says IQ speaker, if you can see that, you want to go ahead and select the speaker that you're using. So we're using the IQ18B, so I'm going to go ahead and you can select whatever speaker you want. Go down to IQ18B, and then push the button in. Okay, that locks it in. Then the EQ, I just have it set to none because you can control the EQ directly on the sub, on the back of the sub through its settings, or also through the iPad settings. So you really don't need to screw around with that. I don't, and I don't screw around with that because I have so many other. We have so many other options through the iPad, and again through the back of the sub itself, through its display screen. Then to the right of that, you have your different models. You'll see the Iq18B is already selected. You can use the Iq18B cabinet itself to model another type of sub, like the ELX18P or the B18DP subs. But since we just want to use you can experiment with that. It's not going to hurt anything. But again, you go down to your knob and just turn your knob back and forth, and you can select whichever. Oh, let me focus that there. There we go. You can select whichever speaker you want. So we're going to stick with the Iq18B because that's what we're using. And again, just push the button in to select it. Okay. All right. Now we're pretty much done with this section. Now if we go back to this Edit Ultranet, now it's going to say Edit Ultranet back there. It changed before it said Edit IQ or something. So you're going to go ahead and select that. That's going to bring you back to this other screen. Before, see Edit IQ setup, you press it, it changes it. Press it, it just flip-flops back and forth. Okay, so we want to be in the Edit Ultranet screen, which is this screen, and you'll see everything is pretty much set up. Now, the way I have it set up over here, where I'm routing, I have a separate sub aux out. Which I have it right here on sub 6, and you hear when I bring that up. You see, I have some music playing right now. So, and the way that was done was pretty simple. Just in this section right here, where it says output signal, I just routed it to where I have where I wanted my output for the mix bus for my subs. And now if I just wanted it to go to the mains, to adjust evenly through the mains, like when I bring up the main volume, the subs will go up evenly and you don't have to sit there and think about it. Which, it's pretty cool. For me, sometimes I want a little more bass. And I don't want to sit there and mess with the EQ. I like to just control just the bass and bring the bass up. But, either way, if you want to just go back up, you can change this. And matter of fact, I'm going to put the subs on right here. Okay, I'm going to bring it up. You can hear that. And then I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to select main right. All right, now you see how it just shut off because I changed that. Now this is no longer in control of that. Now the main volume is in control of it. So I would have to bring up the main. But what's happening is it's going up in conjunction with the tops or with your main speakers. So you don't have independent control over it anymore. And I'll demonstrate that. I'm going to turn this top off. Just going to kill the power on that and bring this volume, the main volume up, and you hear the sub coming out. So there you go. I mean, I personally rather have control of my subs. So what I'm going to do is, again, here's the main. It's just the sub coming out because I turned off that speaker. Okay, so you wouldn't hear the top. But I lost control over an independent sub mix. All right, so now let me bring this down, and I'm going to switch this back over to mix bus 6. Push the button in and come back over here. Now I got my mix bus 6 again, and I can bring it up, and now I have control over it independently over the tops again. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, I'm gonna pause this video. No, actually, I don't need to.
Okay,
All right, so now let's go in the back. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the back and just show you the connectivity and then the setup on the sub itself. So right back here, this is on the X32 board. You'll see it says personal monitoring Ultranet. That's where the Ethernet cable is plugged in. And again, I'm using the heavy gauge Pro Ethernet cables. You can use the cheaper ones that you normally use for your router and stuff like that. But since I'm using this for subs and my main speakers, I kind of wanted to make sure I didn't have any kind of signal loss or degradation or anything like that. So that one, the Ultranet cable is plugged in there in the back of the X32, and then it's going over to here to the back of the sub itself, the Iq18B, plugged into the Ultranet port here. Okay, on the in. Now, since I'm going to be running two subs through this Ultranet system, it's not going to be coming from the X32. It's going to all you're going to do is daisy chain them. You're going to run another Ethernet cable into this through, and then into the in on the other sub, and then you'll go into your settings to set that up. And the way you do that on your the settings here, you have to tell it what channel you're sending the signal from. Okay, so what I do is I press this process, and you can go into all the different settings. You got your different modelings and all that stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. I just wanted to get into the actual hookup of this thing. You can experiment with all the other features. All right, so you have let me see. All right, so you have modeling. Let me just take this tape off. I don't need it there anymore. Modeling the different type of, I'll just show you, I guess. I have it set on the Iq18B, but you can model it after other speakers if you like. Exit. EQ settings. I wasn't going to go over this, but why not? Anyway, I leave mine on none. Again, you can adjust it back here if you want, or you can adjust it right from your iPad or right from the board. Exit. Crossover settings, same thing. From the factory, it's at a pretty decent setting, so I'm not really going to mess with that. And your PEQ, I have that on, that's just set on auto. Alright, exit. And then we're going to go into setup. And right here, so you press that setup button, go to input, right there, push the big knob in right there to get to go into it. And right up here, I don't know if you can see that, it says P1614. So that's the channel I have it on. You can change that channel. You select, with this rotary knob, you just move this back and forth. You get right on that and you push the button in, and then you could spin this button and change it to different channels. See, it's going there. It's 12, 11, 10, 9. Well, I want it on 14 because that's where I have it set up on the board. So once you have it, you got to match the same channel you have on the board. So find the right one and just push your big button in right there. And the trim feature right there, that from the factory, that's going to be set down to, like, I don't know. Let me see it. It was set down to -30. In other words, it was off. I guess they were afraid that if you turn it on with too much signal coming right away, you might burn it up by accident. So anyway, I bring that up to 0. It's basically your gain, and and hit enter. And if you want this sub to go louder, you can adjust that there. All right, the remote, I just leave it on. I really don't know what that is, to be honest with you. I have to mess with that a little more. But that's the basic setup. So I'm going to get out of this here. Exit. Exit. So that's going to be your main screen. You want to go into setup and then input. You can scroll through this thing, go to input, push the button in on input, and then go to your channel. The arrow will go to wherever you're gonna, whatever part you're gonna work on. Press that, the channel, and it has to, when you press that, you can change the channels, and you have to match it. You know, you push it in when you're ready to select it. It has to match what you have set up on the board. Okay, and that's it. You should be set up. And of course, here's your power cable. Pretty straightforward. I like what they did here. And you can get into it a little more. I haven't done this yet with your laptop. And you just plug in right here, USB, and you can get into all the DSP settings and all that stuff. That'll be my next little adventure. But for right now, that's a basic setup of the Turbosound Iq18B subwoofer. And I hope that helped you guys. Like I said, there were no videos out there really explaining it in detail for me. So I wanted to help other people out. And hopefully this helps you guys out. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty good speaker. I have high hopes for it. Again, I picked mine up from Sweetwater. S for Chris Goldblum. He's a really good sales rep. And I haven't been dissatisfied yet. I've purchased a lot of things from those guys. Alrighty, so have a good day. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. Just post them down below. Thank you.